What's up, everybody? It's another edition of the Superstars podcast. I apologize for being late. It is 100% my fault, by the way. The rock and roll intro, I'm still working on. What do you think of that?
Pretty intense. I like it. It's hyping me up. It's getting me ready to close some deals. Let's go.
There's no fade, though. There's no fade. It kills me. So I am here with Alisia. I was going to say Alisia Silverstone. See what you did to me? Alisia Snyder from Opus Real Estate. We have newly become friends. I'm super excited to get to know more about you today. So welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited. Super nervous, but super excited.
No, are you kidding me? You're like the video extraordinaire. I can't wait to talk about that. You are like so good at it. Where are you broadcasting from today? Can you give us context?
I am at Opus Elite in Newtown. For those who don't know, we have multiple offices, but I kind of spend most of my days at the Newtown office. So if you're ever looking, you'll probably find me here.
So prior to Opus Elite, were you familiar with Newtown?
Yeah, I mean, just from being from the area, going to restaurants and shops and friends up here going out. But it's growing on me more and more. I'm liking it. I used to, like the city a lot because they have a lot of restaurants and stuff, but this is definitely growing on me a lot more.
That's the segue I wanted. So what are your spots? Give me your Newtown spots.
Not many of them yet. I mean, I've only joined Opus a couple months, but definitely Rocco's. I used to go there, especially for
birthdays. Wait, don't go away from that. So Rocco's, for people who don't know, is a landmark steakhouse on State Street in Newtown, and it rivals City, don't you think? I think it rivals City.
And their oysters.
And so I was going to ask you. So give me your perfect menu. Give me your perfect order from Rocco's.
Perfect menu. So I like just eating light things when I go there. I know that sounds weird, but I like their tuna poke bowl as their appetizer, so good. And obviously their oysters are like happy hour. I'm going to get some oysters. They also have, if you really like desserts, I don't know if they still have it on the menu. I haven't gotten it in a while, but they have a giant cookie that's like probably like this big.
Really?
And it's so good, and it comes out like served warm. It's chocolate chip. Yeah, like in a skillet, and it's delicious. It's so good. It's so bad for you, but so good for you.
So good. Oh, so wait, you didn't mention steak.
I like the steak. I haven't had it in a very long time.
Are you not a steak person?
No, I am. I love steak. I love.
What's your cut of steak? What's your cut?
Probably ribeye.
Yeah, okay.
Ribeye is the go-to. I know they have the tomahawk there, but that's too much. That'll last me like 3 days maybe to finish eating.
you like the gristle for the flavor, huh? I like that.
Yeah, it's really good. So
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a filet guy, and mainly it's because I get weirded out with textures. So like I like
the ribeye.
Yeah.
I am not gonna lie, I love the fat.
You do, yeah. You like the fat,
so weird. I love the fat. I mean, flay's good. Don't get me wrong, but there's something about that's where all the flavor and the nutrients are. It's in the fat.
Yeah. Do you do any like mushrooms or cream spinach or any of that stuff?
On top of the steak, or just? I mean, if it's cooked right, you don't need any extra flavor, and just salt, pepper, garlic. That's it.
Can you tell I'm hungry and it's lunchtime?
Yeah, you're like, well, you know what? Will you reschedule? We'll go to Rocco's right now. I'll meet you there.
So before I leave this topic, what do you drink with the steak? Are you a red wine person or are you a dirty martini person?
I am definitely martini. Well, it depends. I have to be in the mood for wine. If it's red wine, it's got to be steak, and it's got to be like at nighttime because I'll fall asleep. If it's like day cocktail drinking and I'm not feeling like fucky, I'll get like a nice white wine, something like
a white wine. Yeah.
But most times I do French martini, espresso martini, martini, vodka martini. It was usually my French martini and espresso martini. Classic.
Espresso martini is like a newer thing for me. And
it's basically a fancy Four Loko. That's all it is.
It's literally a coffee on steroids. And I always drag my butt out. Like I'll go out at night and I'm physically exhausted, right? And I'll try and chug Red Bull. And I realize, why do that? Like get an espresso martini.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. That's why you start with espresso, because you get the alcohol and then it wakes you up
Mm.
for the rest of the happy hour.
Yeah, that
I only
makes
usually
sense.
do one, because if I do
So,
more than one, I'm gonna be up all night.
yeah. Oh, that was you. Thank you. You just
Yeah.
exactly what happened to me. So I was a rookie. Have you ever seen the movie Cookie, Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell?
Yes.
So
Yes.
like when he first takes his cup of coffee, like he first tries coffee, that's how I
Yeah.
was with espresso martinis. I'm like, oh my god, I can get drunk and be caffeinated. Like it's
Oh,
wild.
I told you, if I'm sure you had the original Four Loco before they,
Yes.
discontinued it. That's what that
Yes.
was. That was you were, let's go, because there was so much
Yes.
caffeine, but alcohol at the same time.
Yes.
By the way, I'm not condoning. Drink
This is not
responsibly.
sponsored by.
This is not sponsored by yet, not yet.
Did you get the palpitations from the Four Loco too? Because I got that. It's probably bad.
So when I first had them, I was I was on the younger side, so I was probably my heart was at its strongest, probably. So, and then years of just stress and anxiety and work. Just, I don't think they help. But no, I usually will just do one espresso martini if I'm like feeling tired, and then that's it, just one. And because I've done that where I've had multiple espresso martinis, and I'm like, I gotta go
Mhm.
home because
Mhm.
I gotta go run the track. I gotta go run a mile now. Excuse me.
I love it. All right, we'll get off this topic. I just when you said Newtown and I'm hungry and I'm like, I'm gonna just go right for it.
No, I love it. I love it's I am I mean I am a cocktail girl. I love little apps. I love trying new places. I
Mm,
love sharing plates with like friends. So that's why I'm like, oh, I like this because I don't when I typically go out, I don't really get like an entree or meals. I get,
mm,
apps, try this because I like trying new foods. And then same thing with cocktails. I'll usually stick to martinis, but I'll try
mm,
different martinis because they every place has their own, like
mm.
every place has their different variations, and I really like just trying, like I'm a big foodie. I like trying new things.
I'm a huge foodie too. You know, my problem is I tried your theory of just doing apps, right? Now I'm a
Yeah.
larger guy because like I'm a little bit, I got a little marshmallow chin and all that other stuff. But I've tried it and I always fail. And I always regret it. Like I'll walk out and I'm like, you know what? These apps are unbelievably good. And I could have just done apps, but I've
Mhm.
never just done apps.
Well, you don't do apps just by yourself.
But I'm
You
just
have
saying
like
in general, like I couldn't, like I went to dinner. I'll give you an example. Saturday night, I went to an awesome restaurant in South Jersey,
Mhm,
and it's known for their apps. I got like
mhm.
this. You had pig wings with this incredible barbecue sauce and these amazing deviled eggs and this cauliflower and this like creamy mushroom stuff. And it was good. And you want to know the truth? I was satisfied. I didn't physically need any more food, but
See?
I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. I
It's
couldn't.
you'll get there. You'll learn.
I'll learn. I'm
You'll
43. Maybe one of these days.
learn.
All right. So tell me where you hail from. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in far northeast Philly.
Mhm.
Um, mm, Mom and dad, I have a brother. Pretty normal life.
Nice.
Um, I don't know if this matters, went to Nazareth Academy, which
Yeah, it
is
all
up on
matters.
Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Was it
went
all
there.
girls? Was it all
It
girls?
is all girls. Yeah,
Okay, still
yeah.
all girls.
Got the potato sack uniform, everything, the
Yeah.
jumpers, the knee-high socks, the nuns. It's actually, I don't know if anyone knows, it's actually a convent. Like there's nuns that live there in the school.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so like in the school, here's the side that you enter, here's all the classrooms, and then there's a side, the end of the building over here, and it's a convent. So we would see like nuns coming in. Some were teachers, most of them were not, and they just chilled there, and you'd see them doing nun things.
Just doing nun things.
So-
So now that we're there, what kind of nun things did you see?
Nothing exciting, just like walking around praying, I guess. I don't know, nothing, but
So
it was just it.
what is Snyder, by the way? What's the origin? Is that German? What is that?
That's my
No.
husband's name. So I think they're German. I think, you know what I think they are.
Oh, you're not originally a Snyder. What are you
I'm
originally?
not. I'm a Bell. That's
You're a
Welsh.
Bell. A Welsh. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So, like,
so my
yeah.
my mom's side is Italian. She's actually this is how our story how we got to America. So
Um,
World War II happened. My family is from Italy.
ah,
They fled to Argentina.
where
My
in Italy?
mom,
Where in Italy?
Abruzzo.
Oh, okay. Have
Yeah.
you been?
I have. I have.
Oh,
We did a
nice.
whole Italy tour. I actually have an
Yeah.
aunt that lives in Italy.
Oh,
She
awesome.
actually she was born here and went to St. Hubert's, moved to Italy, married an Italian. Now she
Wow.
teaches English in
Amazing.
Italy. So and she
Amazing.
has
She's
this
living the
gorgeous
dream.
property. She is living the
Oh,
dream.
God.
So my mom actually was born in Argentina. So my mom speaks Spanish. And
Wow.
it's funny because she's a like blonde haired short little lady. Um and she speaks Italian too, but Spanish was her first language because she was born in Argentina. But she didn't teach
Interesting.
me Spanish because when she came here, she got made fun of for speaking Spanish. So she didn't want me to get made fun of, so she never taught it to me.
Oh my God.
So,
That is too funny.
and I hate it because nowadays everything is be bilingual,
Yeah.
English and
Yeah.
Spanish. And so my mom will they speak and I'm like, cool, that's nice. What are you saying?
That's
I,
awesome.
I I pick it up. It's familiar, but it's at home. So most of my Italian side has passed on, but it's my aunt, my mom, and my grandmother. So
Oh,
they actually speak like an English, Spanish, Italian language because it's a
English,
mix of both.
Spanish, Italian. I'm gonna have to think. I'm trying to think if that's like anything interesting. Okay, it's English, Spanish,
They'll
Italian.
throw words. So like my grandmother will never say. If you ever meet my grandmother, she'll never say the word but. She'll always say pero.
Pero.
English and then pero all the
Yeah,
time. Like
yeah.
I don't think she's ever said. And then instead of saying cream cheese, she'll say cheesy cream because then she just go back or
Or
like
just
whatever.
queso. Queso.
No, but she'll say like whatever the adjective and noun. She always reverses.
Yeah,
So
that's funny.
yeah, so
That's
it's
really
fun.
funny. So what is your take on so the whole high school thing, all girls uniform thing? It reduces the anxiety of having to pick out clothes every day, right? But what's your take on
Yes,
it? How was the whole experience for you?
and I feel like the nuns are going to come after me.
No, it's
Um,
okay. Listen, nuns, she's done. That's it.
So, as far as going to an all-girls school, I definitely think it has its advantages. You don't have to worry about your looks, makeup, boys dressing, wearing the same outfit. It kind of
Right,
takes a lot of social teen pressures away.
right.
But at the same time, there's a lot of cliques, a lot of drama. Would I go back to an all-girls school? I don't know. It's hard to say, but it wasn't my favorite, to be honest with
Mm,
you, but, it's probably one of the better schools in the area for a private school, and I mean, I think I got a really good education out of it.
yeah.
I did have fun, with my friends and stuff. I did like that it was a smaller high school. I think there was only, like, 90
Oh wow.
95 girls in my class. So each
That's
class, I
cool.
would say, had about 100 average. So it's
Oh,
a
that's
small
cool.
school.
Yeah.
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 And I
Big,
had some
small enough
amazing
and big enough.
teachers.
What's that?
And I said I had amazing teachers too. Like
That's
some of
good.
my favorite, like I'm Facebook friends with some of my teachers, even today. And so, when I go back, I don't know, but did a lot of people like I feel like high school is rough for a lot of people. So,
Yeah, for sure.
take that what you will.
Now, what was your I don't know if you call it a sister school. What was the guy? Who did you guys dance with? Who did you dance with?
Ghost, Holy Ghost.
Oh, Holy Ghost. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Isn't Ghost in the
Yeah.
suburbs?
Yeah, but if Ghost, I mean, it's not too far from Nazareth.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's not too far. I mean, I hate when people ask me that. To be honest, I don't even know. I just know Ghost. So Ghost and Nazareth were really close. I think just because they were proximity. Because I was on the swim team, and whenever we had practice, we practiced with Holy Ghost Prep. And
Russell said he loved high school. That's the comment. Do you see I want you to get used to the comments too. Do you see that? Comments in there.
I loved high school.
I actually loved high school too, to be honest with you.
I don't know. Maybe it was the nuns. I don't know.
Were you
Debatable.
were you very afraid of the nuns?
No, not at all.
Did they use rulers in your day?
So I have a story. I feel like I'm getting
I
in trouble
want the
for.
story. Yeah.
No, okay. So I this
Yeah.
is a rumor. This is a rumor. I wasn't there. I didn't see it. And this was also, mind you, like 15 years ago.
Okay.
Um, there was a nun who nobody liked, and she was
Uh,
scary. She was an awful human. Let's just say that.
yeah. And they're what?
From
And
a
by the way, they're portrayed in every movie. Did you know that? Like, if you watch the schools with the nuns, there's always one psychotic, nutty nun. Like,
and don't there was tons of great friendly nuns. There was one nun though that,
yeah.
and I this girl apparently
You're not
said.
going to hell for this, by the way,
No,
sir.
no, it's not that. It's just like I don't want to. I feel bad talking about the nuns. Um, there was a girl who apparently, I don't know if she gave attitude or something. She wasn't paying attention, and the nun rolled up a piece of paper and like hit her. I don't know if that
Oh,
was true, but that was a rumor back in high school. And the other rumor, which was I thought was hysterical, was so, as seniors they graduate, the first thing they do is they come and they visit the school, oh, look, I'm in college now.
yeah, yeah.
Well, two girls who had I was a senior, they were the class that obviously graduated, they came back and they came and they were in regular clothes and she yelled at them for being out of uniform. And they were
Uh,
like, "Sister, we graduated." And she didn't believe them. She did not believe them. She was like, "You need to go to the principal's office right now. You're out of uniform." And they were like, "Sister, we graduated. Like, we're not." And she legitimately thought they still went there. And I'm like, "How is this lady teaching?" And she should not be teaching.
oh
But
my
I
god.
remember that, and I just was like, "Oh God, I can't wait to get out of here." But there were a lot of awesome, awesome nuns. I had the school nurse was a nun. She was the kindest, person. My science teacher, she was always like quick and like sarcastic and would take little jabs at you, but it was like friendly and funny. So there were some good nuns, but there definitely were nuns that I wouldn't really want to talk to ever again.
Now, where you grew up, were you a Franklin Mills person? Was that like your mall? What was your mall?
No, Neshaminy was my
Chamonix
mall.
Mall. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
mall that barely exists nowadays.
I know. Isn't that sad? It's super sad.
It's
It's kind of
sad.
weird.
It's
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 weird.
weird. It's
Yeah.
weird. When you
It's
drive by it, there's still cars
yeah.
there, and
Yeah.
you're like, "What are they doing?"
Yeah.
And
It's
then
super weird.
it's super weird. So
I
we'll
grew up
see.
with a
We'll see.
lot of malls. I grew up. Did you do a lot of malls growing up?
That was kind of the only thing you could do was
I'm saying.
it was malls, the movie theater. I mean, I went to Grand Ave, that movie theater.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like we went.
Yeah.
Neshaminy was probably most of where we went in high school, and I went to Franklin Middle. I feel like I went to Franklin Mills more of like the 7th, 8th grade. And
Yeah.
then high school was in Chamonix. Because, like I
But
said, I was friends with.
isn't that nuts with like the whole Amazon thing? Like, I feel like it's not that like malls are. What do you do? Like, what are you like? What are you gonna do? Like, if all these stores are physically not there anymore, it's weird. Did
I
you
don't
see Forever
know.
21 just went bankrupt? Come on. Did you ever wear any
For,
Forever
for,
21?
and any girls that are watching this, Forever 21, I don't know any girls that shop there. Seriously. I don't know how. I'm not surprised they went bankrupt because you would go to Forever 21, the clothes never fit you. I don't know who they were selling to. You would find the cutest shirt, and then it would have the gaudiest logo on the front, and you'd be like, and it wouldn't make sense. It'd be like girl power, and I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know anyone that shopped at Forever 21. Like, we may have went there to like do stuff, and then no one bought anything because it was like ugly
That reminds
clothes.
me of Armani Exchange. Like, so growing up, I always aspired to fit in their clothes, and their triple X were always like super tight. So like I go there with
It's a
my brother.
European. That's a European size.
Yeah, well, I look at the like, so like I get there, I'll be like, yeah, I could wear this t-shirt, and it looked horrible. It looked so bad on me. And I used to get so upset. I'm like, I can't fit into this. And my brother would like, rock it because he was like much better built. But anyway, I don't know. I'm totally going off topic. But okay, got it. So tell me about yourself in your adolescent period. Were you a thespian? Were you into dance? Did you have any cool jobs? Did you have any first loves? Like, give me all that good stuff.
First loves, oh boy. Um, no, so I grew up, like I said, I grew up in far northeast Philly. My parents, they still live there. Went to
Steve
Nazareth.
Prince of Steaks? Steve Prince of Steaks? Steve Prince of Steaks? No Steve Pat's? Geno's? What does that
I
mean?
don't
No,
like
what,
Steve's. I don't like Steve's steaks.
you don't like Steve's.
I
What do you
don't
like?
like the any and honestly, you know who has good cheesesteaks? And I feel like they get no, you know what? I don't know if I want to talk about cheesesteaks. I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of hate comments. No, I'm not gonna mention names, but I will. I don't care. I don't like Steve steaks. It's not the
Yeah,
flavor. I don't like that it's not chopped. I don't like the
I could dig that.
strips. I
Yeah,
don't
I could
like
dig that.
that.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with
The
that. Yeah.
flavor is fine, the bread's fine. It's just, but I will say my junior prom, we after junior prom, we went to Steve Steaks in full gowns and suits and got Steve Steaks. So we had the
Okay,
limo pull up and everything.
you are a Whizwith person?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cherry soda? Do you do the cherry soda too? Don't tell me you don't know the cherry soda.
No, I don't do that.
Oh my god,
Can we
it's so good.
skip this? Can we skip
So
the
good.
cheesesteak?
Who knew
Listen,
the cheesesteak would be such a crazy part of this discussion?
I'm in a cheesesteak Facebook group where people will talk about like, oh, I found this new cheesesteak, and they tell you they rate it. You should see people will fight you over a cheesesteak, like in the
That's
comments,
true.
like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about. That's just whack. And I'm just like, it's a fucking cheesesteak. Am I allowed to curse? Sorry.
Yeah, you can curse. I
Okay.
don't.
Okay. And like there's like they'll be like, yeah, okay, clown. And I'm like, this is a cheesesteak forum, and people like hate each other over their preference of cheesesteak. So that's why I'm like, let's avoid this because I know I'm gonna get something like, you don't like it, they're the best. Um Angelo's is good. I'll say
Yeah.
that. I know that's like a fan favorite. Their bread is personally why I like them is their bread, which I found
Yeah.
out the owner was a baker.
Oh,
So and then he moved to cheesesteaks.
that makes
And
sense.
that's why his cheesesteaks are so good. But there's a couple spots in Northeast Philly, but I'm not gonna say them because I don't want to get I don't want to get
I
hate
think
comments.
I think, and if people aren't from here, yes, you think of South Philly and cheesesteaks, but Northeast Philly is like there's a lot of
There's a
cheesesteaks.
lot.
A
There's a lot.
lot of cheesesteaks.
There's two places I feel like don't that I'm thinking of that don't well three. There's a couple. But they're all far Northeast. I'll say one's off Bustleton Ave.
Mm,
One is in Home Circle.
mm.
Um and where's the other one? I'm trying to think the closest street. I can't remember what it's off of, but it begins with an S. So I'll just say that.
Okay.
Let the world
Okay.
guess.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll leave cheesesteaks and we're gonna leave high school, but before we leave high school, I just want you, if you were to write a chapter, right, in a book in your life, how would you summarize you in high school?
I was a goth
Goth?
outcast. Yeah, like an emo goth outcast.
A
Yeah,
goth? Okay. All right. That's it.
yeah.
That's how we'll leave
The
a goth. Okay.
eyeliner.
Oh,
I was.
really?
I had the eyeliner,
Fishnets,
the
long
chain.
boots, like crowful hair, nose
No, I didn't have
piercing.
that. No,
No.
I didn't have that. I mean, the parents would still be pretty strict, but I definitely had like like the jelly. I don't know if you remember the jelly bracelets. They're like
Oh yeah.
colorful, like
Yeah.
stack them and dark eyeliner. I have pictures. I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And and,
You
and
know,
that was mainly from where? Was that like where'd you get that? Music, or how'd you get into that stuff?
um, uh, well, so my so I'm trying to. So I want to dive into this. So I'll say this: I was bullied, like I'm sure a lot of people were
Ah,
bullied, and
ah.
my dad got me into like the new metal rock, so like
Oh,
Disturbed,
oh yeah.
System of a Down, and
Yeah.
I used to swim, so I was a competitive swimmer my whole
Oh.
life. So before races, my dad would tell me get angry
Mm.
and would show me these songs because some of my bullies were on the swim team as well. So
Ah,
it was kind of like a mental thing, like don't focus on yourself, get charged, get like riled up, and like just
love
fucking
it.
go.
Love it.
So I think that's where it stems from because I was
Mm.
grade school. And then, I just that was and I also feel like I don't know if anyone relates to this. Nowadays, kids can like whatever music genre they want. I feel like growing up, you liked rock or you liked rap, and like you liked this, and you were not like you couldn't like both. You had to pick a team or like a side. And
Totally.
now it's like you can like now my if you go on my phone, it's like I have Taylor's. No, actually, I don't have Taylor Swift, but I have like like girl pop, and then I've still got Disturbed. I've got uh things from high school, and then I've got
Yeah.
like Kanye West, and then it's
Yeah.
all my genre is all over country, all that.
I just
So
recently
that
got into country too, to be honest with you. It's interesting.
well, what kind of country? Well, see, I don't like this.
Morgan Wallen. I like Morgan
Okay,
Wallen. Zach, not Zach. There's so many different
Zach
variations.
Bryan.
It's Brian. Yeah.
Yeah,
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 he's
no,
good. My
they're
wife
good.
likes him. Yeah.
They're
But
good.
that's good.
Country. Well, country's changed its tone
Yeah,
too. So
I
I feel like
agree.
growing up, country was like the country
It was
song, and now it's
twangy.
more. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
twangy, and now it's a little different, which is good.
I even enjoyed a Blake Shelton song the other day.
There you go.
He's a little
You're
twangy.
you're crazy. Really going for it. Like I listen to
Yeah.
Blake
Oh yeah.
Shelton.
But by the way, mad props to your dad for that. That's pretty. It's a good. Listen, I'm always trying to pick up good dad skills, so that was a good dad skill. I like that.
My dad's the best. I am fortunately and unfortunately a lot like my dad.
Yeah,
So we are definitely like even if we go out to eat, we get the same foods. We're thinking the same thing. Our
that's awesome.
humor is inappropriately the same. Like we bust balls with each other.
That's awesome.
He's my dad's the best. I absolutely love my dad.
Is he like a? You said he's the Italian side, right?
No, he's the Welsh.
Oh, he's the Welsh side.
We
He's the Welsh side.
the root back to my family. I don't know. I don't. This is what I was told. We used to have a legitimate written down family tree, and
Oh
it like
wow,
from like 17 something.
wow,
Apparently, again, I don't know if this is true. I had a great uncle in the Civil War who was a drummer boy, and he was like
wow.
14. Yeah, that's I don't know if that's true. I can't prove it. It's what I was told. But someone
Maybe
in
the
my
songs
family,
about him. Maybe the songs about him.
what's the drummer boy?
Yeah. What's
That's
the
that's a Christmas song.
yeah, I know. I don't know. Maybe that's
One's a Christmas songs, one's Civil War. I don't know. That's what I was
I
told.
don't
So
know.
my dad's side has been here since like apparently since like the 17th. Like we've been here long. And his
Wow.
family is from like Iowa or something. The only reason
Oh,
why he was in Philadelphia is because my grandfather was in the Navy. So all my
wow.
dad's cousins, they're all like Iowa farmers or something like that. And moved obviously my grandfather moved here, was in the Navy, stayed in Philly, and then that's how we came to be on this side.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
A good core
Yeah.
relationship with your parents, it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's good.
Crazy
That's
Italian and the stubborn Welsh guy.
how long have they been married?
They are high school sweethearts. They met when they
Ah,
were like 15, but
wow.
they didn't start dating until they were like 16. Yeah.
Good for
So
them. That's awesome.
they've been together for a really long time.
That's all. What do
Yeah.
they do to keep it going? Do they like to dance or what are they into together as a couple?
Um, I don't know.
Am I going?
I don't.
That's a
I think
ridiculous question.
I just think my dad tunes out my mom. No, I'm just kidding. No, they do a lot of things together. I don't know. I really don't. They're each other's best friends. I think
Yeah.
um, they're not afraid to like fight with each other. But I say fight, not like they don't want anyone thinking like they fight. But they
Yeah,
are
I know.
not. Neither one of them is afraid to speak their minds when the other one
Hmm,
pisses them off.
hmm.
They tease each other. Like they're playful, but my dad also shows love to my mom. So I don't know.
That's
I just
awesome.
think, you know, they just fit.
That's awesome. That's good. That's it. Believe it or not, that was perfectly said.
Well,
So
thank you.
good.
Good. I hope. And then if they watch this, I'll be like, no, you guys are gross. Stop.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you said something sweet. No, I didn't.
So dive into the swimming for me for a minute there. You kind of threw that in and then dipped it out. So there's two topics I'm going to get into, and then we'll
Hmm.
speed up to real estate. So
Okay.
talk to me about the swimming. I want to understand that whole because the swimming is
Um,
interesting, very highly disciplined. What strokes did you do? What competition? Give me the whole thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So my mom, it started with me and my brother, and she took us to, there's a Jewish Y off of where, what road is that? It's off Bustleton.
Yeah.
It's where the BJ's is. I
Yeah.
can't think of Jacobs. I can't think of the street name. There's a Jewish Y there, so we used to live by there. And my mom took me and my brother just to get swimming lessons, like for
Mhm.
little kids to just be able to swim. And I guess compared to like all the other children, I was like more natural or better at it. So
Mhm.
as I got older, my mom was like, she tried to put me in ballet, and I do not have the attention span for ballet. You have to be very patient and poised and disciplined. Like, don't get me wrong, it was hard, but my brain is like more like let's go. Like I can't. So she picked swimming as a sport for me to do. So I've
Mhm.
been swimming as long as I've been alive, pretty much. And then I just got, better and better at it. And I was on so I swam for my grade school. I went to maternity BVM, and then I swam in high school for Nazareth. And then I also swam at the same time on the Lower Moreland. They have like a suburban, so they have like their Lower Moreland high school team, and then they have a
Mhm.
Lower Moreland suburban like league. I forget what it's called. So like
The
anyone can
club,
join.
club team or
Yeah, it's
something. Yeah.
yeah, like they each high school has like a I don't know how to explain it, to be honest. I don't know if someone knows, but anyone can, so like your high school is obviously just high school students. The
Mhm.
suburban aquatic league was like 8 and up,
Oh,
10 and up. And then 18 and up. So technically you could be like a 30-year-old, 50-year-old competing.
wow.
There was no, I don't think there was an age limit. And every high school from what I remember, like we went against North Penn, they had their own like aquatic league, and then there's another team called Energy.
No.
So most of the girls that I swam with in high school were on the Lower Moreland Aquatic, the suburban league too.
Cool.
So yeah, and then I swam in college for a little, but I went to Westchester University,
Nice. Wow.
and I swam for the club team for about I think it was my freshman and sophomore year, but it becomes a lot. You're college, you're waking up at 5 a.m. to swim, and I
Yeah.
mean it was fun. You go to different colleges, you compete, whatever. But once I hit like my junior senior, I was like, this is a lot. I just kind of want to
Yeah.
chill. I'm not
What
gonna go to
did
the
you
Olympics.
what did you learn in the swimming? The competition, the discipline? Are there things that you use now, like that you can draw back?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I liked swimming, because even though it was a team sport, it was your individual race and what
Mm,
you were good at. And just because somebody was better at you in a different stroke didn't mean that you were better than them at a different stroke. So like you could kind of come into your own with it as
mm,
opposed to like a team where you're
mm.
one spot, your defense, or I don't know spots, but like your defense, like that's, or you're a goalie, like that's all you do. Whereas
Right.
like swimming, you could be better at one thing and somebody else is better, but you're still competing on the same team.
Sure.
And with races, you're focused on yourself. Like
Mm,
it's your that 30-second minute that it's you. Like that no
mm,
one else, you can't rely on a teammate. It's your mental, you know, ability to focus on okay, turns, stroke, dot, like no one else is there, and you don't have a coach like coaching you while you're doing it. So um I would definitely take a lot from that in real life, meaning even if you're all competing, everyone's got different strengths and weaknesses. It
mhm,
doesn't mean you're less because you could be better at one thing and they're not.
mm,
Um, and just the idea of just focusing on yourself. Because
mm.
I will say this is, and as someone who swam, the moment you look at when you're underwater, the moment you look at who's next to you, you lose. And I'm talking milliseconds. Like it
Yeah.
sounds like you wouldn't, but as soon as your focus comes off of what you're doing, like if you mess up a turn,
Mm,
the starts and turns in swimming are where the seconds where you get, and you'll notice if you watch the Olympics, you'll
mm.
see somebody's first, and then depending how their flip turn is, somebody might pass them. Same thing with starts. So as soon
That's
as you
really
take your eyes,
interesting.
yeah, as soon
Huh.
as you take your eyes off, I'm not kidding, you can lose a race. It's
Hmm.
happened to me. Um, you have to be paying it, even though you're swimming, like you have to be paying attention to what you're doing,
Yeah.
your breath. You don't want to get in your head. Like I said, your turns, really focus on like like there's so many intricate little things in your body when you're doing a turn or when you're doing even just your breathing. If you dive too deep, if you dive too shallow, like there's a
Mm.
lot to it that can cost a race.
Hmm.
So in everyday life, that's kind of the comparison. Is just like you have to focus on yourself because any little deviation that you take or comparing could throw you off.
Hmm. Interesting.
Mhm.
And what was your stroke?
And it's a little tiny details that make you better than somebody else.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
What was your stroke?
My stroke was breaststroke,
Breaststroke.
which
Okay.
is I'll imitate it
Yeah.
in case no one knows what that is. Yeah, that's the breaststroke. Looks like a frog.
That's good though. I like the
Yeah.
breaststroke. That's good. Yeah.
I would say freestyle is my second, but I was known in high school like if so there are some races where you have the it's like it's like a relay and track, but every swimmer has their stroke. So you have a
Right.
freestyle, a backstroke, breaststroke, and someone who does fly.
Right.
And I was always put for breaststroke
You always
because
do breaststroke.
yeah, breaststroke and butterfly obviously are the more difficult. They require a little bit more strength.
Right.
But that was what I was known for, was being I would say the fastest, but top breaststroker on my team.
And who was from like a who did you admire most swim wise growing up? Was there like a famous athlete?
I mean, at that time, it was Michael Phelps.
Right.
This and I think I related to him a lot because, like I said, I was bullied, and
Mm,
Michael Phelps got bullied big time because they were like, "Oh,
mm,
he's lanky, he's this and that." And then when they did a study on him, they were like, "His body is, even though you think it's like wanky or weird, his body is why he's successful." They said
mm.
his hand was like the length of it or width was like that of a dinner plate. His proportions allowed him to be the best at butterfly, like all this stuff. So, everyone's
Interesting.
teasing him, but he was
Huh.
actually physically built different than everybody else.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you a Katie
Yeah.
Ledecky fan? I'm a Katie Ledecky fan. I like her.
Yeah. I honestly, as soon as I stopped paying attention to, or stopped swimming, I kind of stopped paying attention to most of that stuff. I watched the Olympics, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm still sitting in my seat, like, go. I don't know who you are, but you're like USA. Like, I don't know any of the names. The Ryan Lochte thing, like what summer, the Brazil Summer Olympics, Lochte, Phelps.
Yeah.
That was kind of like the year I just kind of just fell off
You
of
phased out. Yeah.
watching. Yeah, but I still
Yeah.
like it. So swimming's always a part of me. I always get excited when I see the Olympics on.
And what about the beauty pageant stuff? So I saw that up today. So give me that whole thing? When did you get into that stuff?
So that was my mom. I
Mhm.
I was always in pageants. Not anything crazy, but my mom put me in pageants when I was a kid.
Mm,
Won a couple, and stopped probably in like the grade school, like maybe like fifth grade and on. And then when did I think I started doing them before college. Like I think high school I did a couple. Traveled, went to like Harrisburg and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, I didn't win anything. Obviously, I would have, it would have been more known. And then in college
Oh,
I
I
did.
didn't know that there was a Miss Universe at Opus. That's awesome.
I mean, there might be. Who knows? We could do a male pageant though, and
Yeah, oh God,
the
can we?
women will be the judges.
Oh my
I'll get
God.
Mark up there.
Yeah. With the personalities at that place. Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Zach will be the judge. 10.
What so the pageant stuff, super disciplined? Like did you have to do a lot of crazy stuff for it or not really?
For me, one of the reasons I kind of stopped doing it, and this is no shade at girls that do pageants, like I give them, there's a lot of dedication that goes into it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you have to kind of fit a mold.
Mm,
And some girls fit it, and that's great. For me, it was too much social pressure. Like
uh,
when you're 13 years old and you're competing with a girl who looks like she's got fake boobs or a boob job, and you're just developing your boobs, like it's a lot at that age to be
sure.
like, and then and you have even that show Toddlers and Tiaras, like
Yeah.
when I did pageants when I was a kid, I had like rainbow shirt on and jean shorts and my Nikes, and like I was like, "Hi." Now it's like even they have like the dresses and stuff, and it's for me it's a lot of social pressure to
Mm.
and girls and I feel like I'm just like talking shit to everybody, but like it can be a toxic environment.
Oh
There's a
yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
and I don't mean just like girl like catty drama. I mean like girls putting glue on your shoes. And
Mm.
so like there's some nasty things that I've seen. And some of my friends who I used to be friends with who were in the pageants, they would obviously do it a lot more than me.
Mm.
Um, and it could be, it could be a little much. But
Mm.
the pageants that I did, the last ones I was in college, and it was more or less wasn't expecting to win. It just was experience and something
Mm.
to do, and um, you know, it. I think it gave me a lot of self confidence to
Yeah.
be able to get up in front of like 500. No, I shouldn't say 500. Maybe I don't know. However, how big an auditorium is, that's how many
Yeah.
people get into it.
That's cool.
Um, so yeah, it was fun. I made a lot of good friends. I had a lot of good memories. It's just not for me. I
Yeah.
think it's a little the maintenance to keep up with appearances is it's a job. It's a full on job.
Totally. Yeah. And it's not cheap, right?
It's not cheap.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. It's not cheap. Yeah.
All right.
And
So yeah,
yeah.
I was gonna
No,
cut
no,
you
no,
off.
no.
No,
No, no,
no.
go
What are you
ahead.
gonna say? No, no, go, go,
No,
go.
no, I was gonna say like it's every year too, if you always have to, you know, outshine other people. It's just a
Sure,
lot.
sure.
So
Yeah. Well, it seems like you stayed humbled and grounded through a lot of that stuff, which is good because not everyone does. Let's be
thank you.
totally honest.
I try. I
That's a
try.
positive. That's a positive thing. So all right. So let's get into a little bit of professional stuff. So Westchester majored in
Communications.
communications and then did what out of college?
So I worked for an attorney,
Mhm.
just right out of college was kind of, at the time the only job I can get. And then I jumped into real estate. So I think I was with
Oh,
him maybe for, yeah, since I've been licensed since 2016.
wow.
But when did trying to think. Sorry. I'm like
You're good.
mind. I'm like trying to think 10 years ago. What was I doing? I'm like, what were the years? But yeah, I worked for an attorney at a college. Not right. I think the summer after. So I was a super senior in college. So I
Mhm.
had an extra semester because
Mhm.
couldn't get it done in 4 years.
Yeah.
So
Most
that after that
folks out there.
summer,
Yeah.
I think is when I started working for the attorney. And then probably like 8 months after that is when I got licensed in 2016.
So you're a full throttle. You're full time now.
I've always been full time.
You've always been full time. That's interesting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's really interesting. So
Yeah.
talk to me about what made you get into it and how did it start out for you? Give me that whole thing.
Um, So I have an aunt who she has her own businesses and she got her real estate license and and yeah, back then I think the economy still wasn't doing that great. I think
Mhm.
a lot of people I graduated with, we all had a hard time getting jobs,
Mhm.
like really any jobs. And so my aunt was like, well, make your own job,
Mhm.
be a realtor, and she wasn't full time. Like I said, she had her own business.
What
She
was
did
her
a couple
business?
she owns so right now she owns 2 ski shops. She has
Oh,
one in, Horsham and then one in Spring City.
oh, cool.
The Spring City is the main one 'cause it's right next to a ski resort. I can't think of the ski resort, but it's near, like yeah, I can't think of it, but I'll get back to you if anyone wants to know.
Yeah,
And
I
then
don't
her
know
other one
Pennsylvania stuff that well, but
is in Horsham. But she used to be the CEO for a company called Abilities in Motion, I believe, and I can't remember what they exactly do, but they help people. I think they help people in their homes that have disabilities. So I think they install like
wow.
ramps. I think I could be completely wrong. But, like they help people just get around or make sure that they have certain things in their house they need for whatever their disability or their handicap is. Not entirely sure, so don't quote me. But she used to do that, and then she opened up her 2 ski shops.
That's quite a
And
transition.
She's had a lot of businesses.
Hmm.
She's like a serial entrepreneur. Like she's had like I want to say she's probably had about like two or three businesses since then. She's had a
That's
consulting
awesome.
business. She's had this, and her one, both of her ski shops have rental apartments up top, so she's a landlord as well.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Oh,
she's a
awesome.
busy lady, yeah. So and she's a lot like me. She's very we
Hmm.
are she's my mom's I call her my aunt, but she's actually like my second cousin. She's my mom's cousin. Um,
Okay.
and she same thing, speaks Spanish. I forgot about her. She speaks Spanish. Everyone doesn't think she does, and she speaks it. But so she kind of was like, "Why don't you do real estate? Like, I think you would like it. You're young enough. You could start young. You'll learn a lot, by the time." And so I got my real estate license. I joined a team in was it Bucks County? Yeah, Bucks County. Um, and traveled a little bit, and then now I'm here. So I've been licensed since 2016. I've always been full time.
So talk to me about the journey, like the first team. What were the goods? What were the bads? You don't have to mention names. It's fine. Just talk to me, and you from a personal perspective. That's all. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, honestly, I was on a really good team.
Mhm.
They are a you know them. You've seen them, I'm
Right.
sure. Um, I had a blast. It just at the end of the day, there were certain things that I felt like didn't align with who I was, but at
Mhm.
the same time, I was also young too.
Mhm.
So there are some times where I'm like, if I was older, I feel like I would have been more successful. I think I had a lot of self-doubt at that age as well.
Mhm.
I didn't really have any training or mentorship. It was kind of like, hey, listen, we don't teach, we don't coach, you either sink or swim.
Mhm.
And I was all about it. It wasn't anything they did. It just I think it got to a point where I'm like, just self-doubt at my age. Like, I don't know if
Sure.
I'm good at this.
Sure.
So then
Which is
I
which is
honestly,
which is like the most in this line of work. That's the most crushing thing.
yeah. And
Like it
and it's
really
funny
is.
too because I did have sales. It wasn't
Yeah.
like, a lot of agents they come in this business and they struggle their first year. I will say I was very lucky where I didn't really have to worry about I didn't have to worry about I should say like leads or deals.
Mhm.
I was taken care of. But
And
a lot of it
how did they come in? Naturally or through the team or
a connection that I knew introduced us
mm,
and they interviewed me and they were like we don't teach, we don't mentor, we don't have time for that. But I wanted to really be successful in this business. So I
oh
was
no,
like, I'll
no, I
figure
meant
it
the
out.
lead. You said you didn't worry about the leads. Where did the leads come
Um,
from? Yeah.
their own, you know, their own marketing, social media,
Oh, but they gave you the
like,
leads.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Got it, got it, got it.
But some of it wasn't, yeah, I would just say to simplify, yeah, they provided leads for me.
Got it. Okay. And then with that, you were able to learn. Um, I mean, I guess obviously you started off like everyone else does, understanding the technical aspects of it and how
Mhm.
to write up a contract, how to negotiate a deal, blah, 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 blah. But then at what point did you transition to feel comfortable enough to say, you know what? I think I can make this on my own. I think I can get my own leads. Like, at what point did that happen for you?
So to be honest with you, probably not until like pandemic time, which was the
Mm,
worst time because
yeah,
that's when I got to that point and then everything
yeah,
was like, actually, we're not going to let you sell any houses.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, it bad timing. Because I would say probably right around like 2019, like 4 years later, that I kind of feel that way. Um, and then it probably wasn't until maybe like a couple years even after that that I was like, I got like the confidence is there.
Yeah.
Just because every deal is different, every client is different.
Mm,
There's no black and white success story in real estate. So I feel like I always struggled with that self-doubt of like, am I doing this right? Am I a good agent?
mm,
Because and this is not a shot at agents because I've just seen like some agents where I'm even like how have you not lost your license? Like,
Mm,
how are people trusting you? Like, it's scary because they exist and they're out there. So I would have
mm,
self-doubt of like, I'm not doing that stuff. And but if they're doing it, I should be okay because
right,
I know, my I'm an agent that looks out for my clients. Like, I'm an agent that wants
right.
to do the right thing. I'm all that stuff. So, probably the last couple years is when I fully am like in it. Like, there's not a doubt. I'm good. This is what I'm good at.
Mm,
I know the contracts inside and out. I know, negotiation tactics. I know skills. I have connections now with like vendors and contractors. And if I need help with something, it makes the deal a lot smoother. I've built a lot of relationships the last like 5 years, and I think have just even helped my business, you know, be better than it was.
that's awesome. And then that's all. Was that taught, or was that you put that together yourself? You just got a feel for it.
Some of it was taught at my old
Mm,
brokerage. I got to give them credit. I ask a ton of questions. I even preface
mm,
when I go to a brokerage, "Hey, I'm going to ask you a shit ton of questions," because my
mm,
brain. I'm always told that I'm an overthinker, and I used to take that as like an insult. And now when someone says
mm,
I'm an overthinker, I'm like, don't be mad that I, can think more than you. Like, my
mm.
brain just works.
I like that. Yeah.
It does. Like, you'll see, I just love asking questions. I love learning. I love knowing like tips and tricks, and I feel like some people, they can't see beyond just the contract.
Right,
And
right.
so my old brokerage definitely put up with a lot of my questions. So I'm
Mm,
grateful, but that's I feel like you have to have initiative to want to learn those things. Um,
mm.
and if you don't know how to ask questions, you're not going to know what to ask because you
That's
don't have that thought process.
that's a
So
good way of thinking. I like that. That's a good knowledge. I always look. You'll see me look up because when I go to make
mhm.
reels, I was like, I got to remember these times. That's good. That's a good nugget. I like that. I
Thank
like
you.
that. So,
But it's
talk
true.
to me about
So
where you're at. Was that?
I said,
Was that?
I don't know. Go
Yeah.
ahead. You were
No.
talking when
What?
I couldn't hear.
So, where are you at? Like now? Like I can see you're heavily focused on your branding with these videos, right?
Mhm.
Where are you at the stage? Are you going to think of a team down the road? Are you going to pivot more into specific areas or types of real estate? What's your daily routine look like? What kind of mindset are you in these days?
So my mindset is I read. I've been starting to read a lot of audiobooks and books in general,
Mm,
focused on branding. And
mm,
because real estate is not what it was 20 years ago, it's not even what it was pre-pandemic or even pandemic days. So and I think I don't know if we touched on this at the Flyers game. It's not real estate isn't even sales anymore. It's your
mm,
brand. It's, oh, I know
mm,
her. Oh, I know she does real estate. I used to think, the more I knew, the better agent I was. But people, and sad to say, it seems like people don't really care if know the contract, no negotiation. They just know you as oh, I saw you online. I saw, So I'm trying to build.
what a very and I don't mean to cut you off. That's a phenomenal point. It's a phenomenal point because that is so insane. Like you're trusting these people
Mhm.
to make the largest transaction in your life, and you're doing nothing to vet them
Yeah.
except liking their video. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
I
It's
mean, keep
crazy.
liking my video. I promise I'm not gonna
No,
do
no, no, no. But I mean, like, I know
No,
why
it's
you're using their tactics, but on
mhm.
top of that, you're a very good agent, right? The
Right.
flip
Yeah.
side is people that just do this that aren't good agents.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And listen, it's hey, whatever. Everyone runs their business different. I just I I just have a learning brain. I always want to know more. I'm always curious. That's why I ask so many questions. Even if the questions are completely unrelated to anything, that's my mind doesn't turn off that way. But I realized the last like couple of years, like I said, is it really is. It's you could be the worst agent in the world, but if
Mhm.
you're, all over social media and everyone knows you, they're going to hire you. And I don't, I'm glad that works for some agents. I don't want that. I want it to be, oh, I know her and she knows her shit. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So that I think that's going to come with time, but I'm trying to focus on social media because I just feel like the future of real estate isn't sales, it's branding.
Mm,
We are a product. We used to, sell our services, but now we're selling ourselves. And this is weird as that sounds. So you want to be, you know, people want to know who you are. People want to know what you do. That's kind of also how they build trust. They see what you're doing when they feel related to you, that they're comfortable, buying a house or selling a house, or landlord tenants or something like that, because they feel like they know you, and that's part of the branding.
very well said. Very, very well
Thank you.
said. Yeah, I give you mad props for that. That it and what I love about that the most is you're very conscious in your mind, like you know where you want to be and what you want to do, as
Hmm.
opposed to people that flounder and they're just like, I don't know, and
Yeah.
that's not a really good place to be when you're A, trying to scale, and B, try to keep up with the changes, right?
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that and that makes a lot of sense. Cool. And then so the videos, it's interesting. I've become a huge fan. I love them.
Thank you.
They're
Thank
very
you.
well done. um A, they're entertaining.
Thank
B,
you.
they're filled with a lot of good information. What kind of a response have you now? When did you become fanatical about the videos? Is it recent?
So I've been trying to make videos for the last year, honestly, and I think the confidence thing again, where you hear yourself on camera, you're like, "Oh, I sound like that?" And,
Yeah.
you look different in the camera than you think you look in real life, and you're like, "Oh, I sound like." I think it's a level. I shouldn't say confidence, I say level of comfortability, and
Mm,
I think I struggled when I first started with, how do I speak? How do I sound? The
mm,
lighting, the this, the quality. What do people wanna hear? What will people watch? And then, there's a whole psychology behind the videos. We have an attention span of a goldfish. You need to be entertained. You need to have it's not even just presenting a video anymore. It's flashy lights, quick swipes, sounds, and it's a lot to do and to edit. And so when I first started, I had a lot of like, oh, this no one's gonna watch this. Who am
mm.
I? Like I don't, they don't. It's and then I got to a point where I was just like, fuck it. Like, who cares? If they don't watch it, they don't know what's going on. And if I mess up,
Yeah.
then what's it matter? Because they're not watching it anyway. And if I do mess up, they're gonna comment I messed up, and it's gonna make my algorithm go up. So it's kind of like
I
it's
love that.
true.
I
It's
love that.
true.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm definitely still trial and error. I don't have it all figured out. A lot of it I research on my own. I read
Mm.
up on like SEO, on algorithms. I have some friends that do pretty well with it, and I'll pick their brains and say, is a professional account better? Is a business
So you're
account
you're already
better?
like you're already like leaps and bounds ahead of regular agents. Even myself, like I'm not gonna lie, even myself, I don't do all that SEO stuff. I'm like, hey, let's put on a camera and rock and roll. It's like, but that's amazing.
Hey,
That's amazing. Yeah, that's
but
amazing.
the other thing is too is everybody builds their own circle and their own sphere
Sure,
on their content.
sure.
But my mindset has always been in swimming, in whatever it is, I have to think of something you didn't think of. I have to do something you're not doing
Love that.
before you realize that you need to do what I'm doing.
I love
I
that. That's awesome.
I don't want to sound cocky, but I always have to be ahead of you. Even
Yeah.
though we're not competing, I need you to know that I'm ahead of you before you even know you're in the race. Like that's kind
I don't,
of
I don't think that's cocky. I think that's smart. Right. I really
okay.
do. I don't think that that's cocky at all. That's strategy. Right.
Yeah.
And that strategy is extremely important in business,
Hmm.
and even more so in these businesses where you're kind of just out there doing whatever you can do. It's
Yeah.
kill or be killed. Like it's just the way it is. And it's and you want to do things in a very crowded, noisy space, because
Mhm.
I swear to God, I live in an area in South Jersey where you pick up this magazine and it is realtor after realtor after realtor. Come on. Like
Yeah.
you can't look at 10 different business card ads and be like, oh yeah, that's the one. That's the blouse. That's the shirt. So come on.
Yeah.
Like in a very noisy, crowded environment, you have to be that premeditated, that educated, that strategic.
Hmm.
And those are the things you're doing. That has nothing to do with that's the opposite. It's extremely intelligent. And kudos to you, man. Like, that's dope. That's some dope stuff.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That is dope. Good for you. So is the goal to just do as many as you can, build up a library, use that audio to build in the text, to build in the SEO, and allow your content to showcase your ability as an agent, so that when people do research you, they find that content, and then before they even meet you, they know you.
Right, exactly.
Dope. Love
So
it. I love
it's essentially I'm interviewing for the job without interviewing for it.
That's
You're
awesome.
getting to see who I am before you even realize. So let's say I send a mail or I send a flyer or send some type of marketing. You can search me and I
Right.
have videos, I have blogs, I have this, here's my website. And out of all the realtors, you feel comfortable because here I am talking to you.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. So where I know you spread them out, but is there a home for your videos where people can find them?
Everything that I upload, some things I don't put on Facebook, because either they're longer content or it's not really most of my Facebook friends or my followers, I would say a good chunk are realtors or lenders,
Sure,
right? So
sure, sure.
they it's not going to affect them. They may like it,
Yeah,
which is great. But
sure.
so some things are on YouTube. Um or most things are on, I should say all my videos are on YouTube. Not everything is on Facebook, not everything is on Instagram or TikTok. Um TikTok, and for those who don't know if they're watching, so TikTok, I don't really do too much on TikTok, because TikTok is, I believe, like a nationwide or worldwide, where
Mm.
Instagram and Facebook are centered locally.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
yeah, so I mean, if I were to target somewhere, Facebook, Instagram, I'm sure that would mess up. But yeah, TikTok, that's why on TikTok you'll see user number 123 or L something, like, because it is hitting everybody. Where
Right.
Facebook and Instagram, it is more not center. It's more focused on where you're at. And then with YouTube, YouTube is owned by Google.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know that, but that's so, and Google will close caption all your videos. Even if you
Mm,
have captions, they close caption them,
mm.
and that feeds into their SEO.
It's very interesting. First of all, I'm going to say this in the most positive way. You're a ninja. Like, you're an absolute ninja, and that's cool. I mean, it's awesome. I like, I'm very impressed in a very good way, because you're extremely heady with a lot of this stuff, and that's not normal in a very good way. And I think it's going to
Thank you.
give you a highly competitive edge. And I guess the only other question is, how willing are you to share the cookies with those videos, like to teach us how to do
Cookies?
them?
Like tips? You mean like the tips and tricks?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can share. I have a couple of people saying I need to teach something, but
I think
I
maybe a
am
lunch and
still
learn. Maybe a
I am
lunch and
still
learn.
we can maybe set up a lunch and learn. I am
Okay.
still learning myself. So I don't have all the answers. Like I said, I read a lot. My brain does, I don't know. So I'm a Cancer. I don't, my
Mhm,
zodiac sign. I'm
mhm,
ruled by the moon, not to get weird.
mhm.
I am up at night. When it's 9 o'clock, that is when I am like reading, Googling, rabbit hole, researching. Mornings, not so much. But so a lot of this stuff that, people are like, oh, teach me, how'd you do that? I'm still learning. I'm
Yeah.
reading how SEO works. I'm reading how algorithms work. I'm reading how the platforms, like, I don't like I said, TikTok, I don't think that's what I'm gonna use. Will I post it just to have a TikTok to have social media? Maybe. But I don't think it's gonna benefit. And some realtors, I there's a realtor that I can think of right now. She has a huge TikTok following, and I'm sure it's worked out for her because that's her, that, it's worked for her. I don't know if she's got, clients from it. But I know she's got a huge social TikTok following, and all her videos are real estate, and it works for her. But for me, I don't think long run TikTok is for where realtors should be focusing on. But
But the one thing additional to all this that I'll say about you that I can see is your ability and willingness to continue to adapt, right?
mhm,
That's important, so that,
you have to
that
adapt.
the fact that you're taking this new technology and way to become a modern day realtor, and in educating yourself and developing your own methods, is something that will take you, because in 20 years it'll be something else, and in 20 years it'll
Mhm,
be something else. And
mhm.
That's really, really cool. That's good for you. That's so
Thank you.
cool. That's
Appreciate it.
awesome. So what's the goal? Domination or what?
World domination, baby. Not even Bucks County. Just get licensed in all the states.
What areas do you want to
Zillow,
conquer?
watch out.
Hey, listen, you never know, man. You could totally do
I'm
that.
gonna get a cease and desist right now. They're flying in with
No,
a drone.
listen, I was trying to figure out with superstaragents.com, but I think I just figured it out. What areas do you primarily focus on? Like what geographical areas?
Bucks County, Philadelphia, I would say are my primary, but I will serve and do serve Montgomery County, Chester County, Delaware County, Lehigh County. I also put this back. We'll go back. I have family that I have a house in Sea Isle. So
Oh,
grew up. I was a lifeguard for 6 years. That's a part we
oh,
didn't even talk
fun.
about. A beach
Ah,
lifeguard, yeah. So and was a lifeguard, so I have a lot of family, a lot of ties, a lot of
awesome.
memories with Sea Isle, Avalon. So if anyone's looking for a vacation home, I do South Jersey.
Dig it. How do people get a
Yeah.
hold of you?
They can call me or they can go on my social media. No, but they can call or text me.
Yeah,
My number is 267-269-3973. Or you can all my socials are sold underscore by underscore Alicia. The sold by Alicia. Every single one of my social medias is that. So you can find me on social media as well.
I love it. Well, we did the damn thing. I told you it'd be easy.
It wasn't too bad.
At 1 hour and 6 minutes, we've pretty much summed up Alisia Snyder. I want to thank you so much for being on another episode of the Superstars Podcast. Everything we do is on YouTube at Superstars Podcast. And guys, there will be plenty of reels coming out of this one. So stay tuned for a future episode. And thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It was
You
awesome.
got it. Peace out, everyone.
See ya.